Perfect. Good luck.
Cheers, man.
No worries. Right, let's go and speak to Harry Bloor, who is right on the other side of Steve Laidlaw. Sorry, guys. How are you? You okay?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Good to see you. I'm really well. No one ever asked me that. It's a bit noisy behind you. Can I get you to just come in the middle a bit?
Yeah, sure.
We'll have your car behind, because them fans... Why are the fans on already? The car shouldn't be really getting that hot, should it?
Oh, it's absolutely boiling in there, yeah. I mean, yesterday it was sauna in there. It's drenched in sweat. Honestly, it was a good workout, to be fair, but it's so hot. Yeah,
It's a bit warmer today, isn't it, as well?
Yeah, I'd say it's around the same. I'd say maybe a bit hotter than yesterday. But yeah, it's definitely boiling hot in that car for as long as we're in there for. It's just, yeah, it's good fun though.
Get a safety car on the track and the windows down, you'll be fine. Quick one. This is a great starting position for you. It was good yesterday. Still learning the car, still getting up to speed. It's a good opportunity, this. You've got some people that you know how to race against behind you. Obviously, Steve Laidlaw's super fast. Just latch onto him. What's the sketch?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, he's most likely going to go. And then yesterday, I had a bit of a bad start. Ended up being like 4th or 5th quickest on circuit. Bit of traffic. I could have come 6th if I had another 2 laps. But the plan is really just to go and just keep the position, really. Just have a bit of fun with racecraft.
I like the sound of that, mate, because motorsport's supposed to be fun, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Obviously, of course. That's why we're doing it.
Exactly, mate. Good lad. Listen, all the very best. Give it your best.
Thank you very much.
Top man. Right, let's move on. Lots of great people here. They are the cleanest over at... What is going on? What's happened?
I haven't had any incidents just yet.
Alongside him, then the ever-improving Greg Saunders has got the ever-improving George Jackson alongside him on row 2. Will Beach and Sam Laidlaw together on row 3. This is an opportunity for Sam, I think, isn't it, to get himself a few more points on the board, whilst Finn Leslie and Brad Hutchison share row 4. Then the top 2 from yesterday's race, Callum Newsham, who's desperate to try and get a race win, has Adam Shepherd, the championship leader, alongside him. And Adam Shepherd comes into this race now 19 points clear of Callum in the championship. Mark Smith and Jordan Kerridge are together on row number 6, with Alex Jones on his own at the back. The lone Gen 1 Cup car, he had brake issues yesterday, lost the brakes, fairly significant issues, and that led to that spin into the Jim Clark S's, which saw the car go backwards into the tyre stack. That needed to be replaced, which required a safety car, and immediately got required a new rear bumper to be fitted, but the team have done a good job of that. He's out on the grid and ready to go. Paul O'Neill, fascinating race ahead of us here. I think then the reverse grid races are always a highlight, but this one has this really interesting dynamic with Shepherd and Newsham and Sam Laidlaw at the back and Steve Laidlaw on pole position. Everyone is saying this is an easy, nailed on Steve Laidlaw win. Is it going to be that straightforward?
No, definitely not. He's got the car. He's the driver to win this race, in my opinion. But how quick are the other guys going to come through, especially Adam Shepherd? But still, the pace was very much the same at Silverstone between Steve and do you go through the chicane side by side, or do you drop out and go, and then you've got to try and get back into place, so you might get a penalty, and then you've got down at Tower, if someone lunges you, it's another pinch point, and then out the back, if you try and go around the outside of someone, again, that happened yesterday, didn't it? It's a bit of a nightmare. And then all the corners at Croft are great, and it's quite a wide track in general, but once you get into the corners, it really, really tightens up, and it's dusty offline, Andy, so I am looking forward to this one. But the last sector is where you're going to see some people just sticking their noses, maybe not whether or not what will.
Well, that was sort of what Callum Newsham was saying to me when I interviewed him this morning for social media, and he said, the only way I was ever going to get past Adam yesterday was with a real lunge, probably into the hairpin at the end of the last sector, but the problem is everyone knows that's a good overtaking opportunity, and you can defend into that final turn, can't you? Because even if you run wide, you've got the inside line for Clervaux. It's one of those tracks where there's a lot of left, right. That makes defending easier and overtaking trickier.
Yeah, this is the problem. You see, people will say, oh, well, just get the overtake done at the hairpin. I'll guarantee you, even if you are, half a car length down the inside of someone at the last hairpin, which is the slowest corner in the country, it then goes into a fast right-hander. So you don't see many people go around the outside of anyone at the first corner at Clervaux. So, yeah, it'll be an interesting race. But we've seen Finn Leslie attacking brilliantly yesterday, making people go into mistakes in the corner. So that's what you need to do. You need to dart around, have a good nose on your car, and the good overtakers will get it done at Tower on the brakes, just over the crest.
Yes, we saw some good overtaking there in yesterday's race, and well, race number 2, I think we're going to see an even more overtaking with this reverse grid. But can Steve Laidlaw claim another race win? Championship-wise, he's slipped a bit further back now. He's 12 points behind Callum Newsham, and he is 31 points behind Adam Shepherd, and that's after drop scores have been calculated. Remember, though, that Steve Laidlaw is only dropping 24 points. Adam Shepherd is dropping 46, so he's dropping more points because he's been more consistent, and that means Adam can afford to take things a little bit easier and know that he's got the drop score situation to help him out. And then Sam Laidlaw fourth, even further, about 219, playing 272 for Adam Shepherd.
Just sorry to cut in.
No.
I just remembered, whilst I was on the grid, I did hear a little bit of a murmur of a problem for Callum Newsham that they were trying to sort out. He is on the grid and he's just getting away now, but they were just asking how much time they had to get on the grid, so that's just something to bear in mind.
Right, okay, well that's not what they need, is it? Because they have been building some nice championship momentum, the Callum Newsham squad. He had that win and a second place back at the season opener at Donington Park. Donington Grand Prix event did not go to plan, but then Silverstone, 2 seconds and a win. Second again yesterday. He's been Mr. Consistency, has Callum Newsham, but he's used all of his drop scores, 2 non-finishes so far this year. 1 apiece actually in each of the Donington events means that he can't really afford another one. So a mechanical issue in this race could end his championship hopes realistically, with still nearly half the season to go. There's Alex Jones at the back of the field in the VW Golf GTI, the oldest car on the grid. I think I'm fairly right in saying, well, yes, it's the only Gen 1 car on the grid this weekend, and he is going to be keen to try and get stuck in, and hopefully they've resolved the braking issues. Ahead of him, Jordan Kerridge, who really enjoyed racing yesterday, slipped back a bit towards the end, but he made some good overtakes early on, and he said that was his target this weekend. He wanted to overtake a few people. He did, and he'll be looking for another good start in the Luke Sargent Audi that I believe we may or may not see Luke back out in the park in a few weeks.
I was really impressed with Jordan yesterday, you know, but one, I was impressed with him on camera with the interview he did yesterday, because he was just dead straight, said how it was going to be, wasn't arrogant, just said he wanted to enjoy it, which is, if you can enjoy your motor racing, everything else falls into place. And then kept himself out of trouble, got the job done. And I always say to people I'm coaching, you've got to get round every single lap you can. If you're in the gravel trap, you'll never know what the car is supposed to feel like on tarmac.
Yeah, no, good point actually, especially when you're first starting out in a championship like this. Just get the laps under your belt, and the car will change as the race goes on, and as tyres wear out, fuel starts to burn away. So there's a lot to learn over the course of a 20-minute TCR UK race. Right, cars are on the green flag lap. They're going to be making their way around to the grid, and then we will be good to go racing. Steve Laidlaw will be desperately hoping that he gets a good start from pole. Normally, the Laidlaw's really good off the line. Yesterday's race start I thought was interesting because Adam Shepherd from pole got a ton of wheel spin and still got the best start of everyone at the front. So I'm not sure whether that's because the others were a little bit late reacting, or Adam maybe has found a new solution, a new tactic for getting off the line. But Steve Laidlaw, good off the line generally, should be confident that it'll lead into turn 1.
Yeah, I would have thought so. He's always been a good starter, isn't it, in all of the TCR cars that he's driven. So he's got a really nice feeling for that clutch. It's, you know, it doesn't matter who's alongside you. Even though he knows he can win races, and this on paper should be a podium full stop for him, it's still that getting off the line, because if he doesn't make the first corner in the lead, it's your panic sets in and you're like, I've got to get past this person, I've got to get past this person. Because I guarantee you, when he looks in his mirror when this first lap gets going, he will not be looking for anybody except Adam Shepherd.
Yes, I think I tend to agree with you there. Right then, let's see what our second race of the weekend has in store for us. The back few rows of the grid are coming into position, and under slightly cloudier skies now, and a certainly very blustery Croft circuit, our second race of the weekend is about to get underway. Steve Laidlaw and Harry Blur on the front row of the grid. Who gets into Clervaux corner first? Who wins the race? And what does it mean in the context of the championship? Let's find out. It's a good start for Steve Laidlaw. Sam Laidlaw's got nowhere. Sam has stalled. So Sam Laidlaw in the second of those Cupras from Area Motorsport is going nowhere. Harry Bloor looks like he's hanging on to second. That's Will Beach. Will Beach steams up the inside into second position. Up on the brakes, and Will Beach immediately making progress. Look at Newsham. Callum Newsham is into fourth place already. A demon start from the Hyundai driver, and he is going to absolutely be setting off after the race leaders. So a clean start, a disaster for Sam Laidlaw, but a couple of big movers already.
Yeah, there was some big lunges, wasn't there? But the great thing is everybody respected each other. Callum Newsham down the inside of Harry Bloor, job done, and also Adam Shepherd down the inside of someone I couldn't quite see there as Mark Smith goes through.
Yeah, that was Greg Saunders, I think, that Shepherd was going past. So Steve Laidlaw lead, Will Beach second, and Callum Newsham into third position. So that was a better start than I think even Callum would have expected. Can he challenge Steve Laidlaw for the win? Well, a lot of that will depend on how long he spends stuck behind Will Beach, because he's only got actually a car between himself and Adam Shepherd, who's also made some good progress. Adam had some slight dramas over the battery, didn't have any power in it this morning when they tried to fire the car up, but they seem to have resolved that, and he's there in fifth, going for fourth. Look to the inside of Bloor, into the penultimate corner. Nice move.
Spot on move that. Look at that, Newsham down the inside for P2 on Will Beach. Will Beach away like a scalding cat, and then he just kind of dropped off the pace a bit, but he'll be happy with where he is now because he's got Adam Shepherd, his teammate, just behind him, and that looks like a really good battle just shaping up ahead now.
So Callum Newsham almost doing really what we saw Steve Laidlaw do at Silverstone last time. It's not quite 10th to first, but it's 9th to second. Bollard's going flying on the way into Clervaux corner already. As the field goes through, someone was running a bit wide. It was Adam Shepherd though. He is on to the tail of his teammate Will Beach, who I doubt will make this too difficult for him.
No, I think he'll be waving him through probably. Well, probably not actually, because it looks like he got a really good run there through there, Will Beach, and that car of Adam Shepherd's looking pretty pointy. He's got to get the job done, but I tell you what, he's getting away, Steve Laidlaw, so he's got to be making the move pretty quickly. But Callum Newsham will not be an easy person to pass.
There was a green flag then on the approach to Tower, which suggests a yellow maybe at the chicane, so I'm not sure what may have happened there. Here comes Shepherd to the inside of Beach into Sunny, so another good, albeit difficult, overtaking opportunity, and Adam Shepherd made it look easy. So we've now got, in a way, the big three in the top three positions again. There's a bit of separation between them at the moment. Steve Laidlaw at the start of the lap, 1.9 seconds ahead of Callum Newsham, but is that gap coming down? Well, in the first sector it came down fractionally, the second sector by about a tenth, so Newsham at this stage not massively quicker than the leader. Here comes Finn Leslie, meanwhile, to the inside of Greg Saunders.
Oh, that's a good move, that is, and fair play to Greg Saunders, because a lot of drivers wouldn't have seen that. Not over yet though, is it? Because I'll tell you what, that Cupra will be a little bit quicker down the straight, but Finn Leslie will brake so much later that he should get the job done, and it's already done by the looks of it.
Oh, Saunders is still there, locks up, goes straight into the gravel. Saunders tried to fight it in the braking zone, he nuzzles up against the tyres. It won't have done any real damage, but the car is stuck in the gravel, and I fear going no further. I agree with you, I thought Finn Leslie were on the racing line, the wider line, would be able to brake so much later than Saunders. Saunders tried to match him and could not get the car stopped. Somehow though, he's got it going from the gravel and maybe able to rejoin.
How's he done that? That's unreal. I think you've seen two things there. You've seen Finn Leslie's car being able to brake later than Greg Saunders, and Greg Saunders has braked when he's seen him brake, and then he's lucky not to wipe him out, to be fair. Yeah. But all's good as well, so he's all very nice. Where's Adam Shepherd? He is closing in, isn't he, on Callum Newsham?
Right behind Newsham now, so Newsham isn't really going after Steve Laidlaw. It's the Cupras at this stage that have the pace, and Shepherd is all over the back of Callum Newsham as we head to the complex. I think it's really important here that Newsham just weathers this storm. If he can keep Shepherd behind him for another 5 minutes or so, we'll then be getting to the point of the race where the Hyundai seemed to get quicker yesterday. It was about halfway, 2/3 of the way through the race that he looked strong, but he's already lost the place. Through already has gone Adam Shepherd, and he will be good looking now, maybe for a second race victory.
I was just about to say the Hyundai will be better in Sector 3 on the brakes, but if it gets its nose inside, if Shepherd got his nose inside at the hairpin, it is game over. It's got so much traction, that VZ, so much traction on full lock in first gear. That is the slowest corner in UK motorsport, and it is so difficult to get the traction down. But if you're in that car, you're sorted. This is what I wanted to see all year. These are the cream of the crop.
I'm rubbing my hands with glee here at the prospect of an Adam Shepherd and Steve Laidlaw battle win, because these two, there is a little bit of history, I think it's fair to say, from earlier in the season. They are championship rivals, and Steve Laidlaw, I don't think, would have expected 5 minutes into the race to look in his mirrors and see that white and blue Cupra in his mirrors. I think he might have expected Shepherd to be on the podium by the end of the race, but second place already. This has been the driver for champion so far from Adam.
If Newsham is clever enough, which I really think he is, he will be rubbing his hands together, because he knows if they go side by side, he's got a chance of switching back and getting this lead. He needs to just be as close as he can to these two in front. Look how much time he takes out of Shepherd on the way into the hairpin, but then it just drops back on traction. So look at this, lights are flashing already. This is it. Hold on, sit down. Whose is that baldy head?
Someone itching to get no seat, and I can't say I blame them really, because we've got a heck of a fight on our hands. On that lap then, Adam Shepherd was about 3/4 of a second quicker than Steve Laidlaw. At that rate, he'll be with him by the end of the lap. There are purple sectors though coming in from Sam Laidlaw, who's up to 7th now. He's ahead of George Jackson. Sam, what a disappointment that is though. I've been picking up their starts all weekend, and Sam unfortunately made a bit of a mess of that one.
Yeah, that's a shame, isn't it? I remember Sam having a nightmare with a clutch here last year. I think in his first year of racing, he was in the I think he was in the Hyundai, was he?
Yes, I think you're right.
And he had a clutch problem all weekend, and yeah, bit of a shame for him. This is really hotting up now, and Steve has got to concentrate, because it's difficult to pass. He's in the same car, so he'll know what the strengths and the weaknesses are, but he cannot afford for Adam to show his nose down the hairpin, because if that happens, it's just going to be a real difficult one.
Will Beach, 4th place, going really well, and I was very impressed with how feisty he was in the first few corners. Speaking of feisty, I think that's exactly how we could describe this battle. Adam Shepherd already looking to the inside of Steve Laidlaw. As soon as he arrived on the rear bumper of his championship rival, he wanted to make the move. Wasn't able to do it there, but that has signalled his intent.
It has, but he'll have just flat spotted that front tyre. Do you know what will happen here? I think he's going to have a big go at him down at Tower, because I haven't seen Steve Laidlaw defend yet.
Yeah.
And look, this is it. Here we go. Right. This is going to be so close. And look at the drive. Oh, he's hit the tyres. That's got to have damaged the car.
Yeah. That was Laidlaw, was it?
Steve Laidlaw hit the tyres. Will there be a big lunge now from Adam? He's going to do it. He's going to do it. Is he? No, he's too far away. He's locked up. He's locked up. He's going to go wide. Is he? Shepherd's going to see this, and this is it. Game on, Andy. Game on.
Oh, Shepherd quicker off the corner. Is there a gap to the inside?
No!
Around goes Steve Laidlaw. Steve Laidlaw into the barriers heavily. The title contenders have clashed. You could see that coming, and out of the race surely is Steve Laidlaw. He will be furious with that. There was the tiniest of gaps that Shepherd tried to fit his Cupra into. Steve was having none of it. They both wanted the same bit of road. I hate to say it, Paul, but I saw that coming.
Yeah, there was a lot of side to side, wasn't there, as they were going up? So what's going to happen about that? I couldn't really get a good look at it, but Steve was defending quite heavily from Tower because he'd run in too hot. What's going to happen? Was that avoidable? Let's see from both drivers. That's going to be a massive talking point.
And a massive call to be made by the stewards on that one, because that has enormous championship ramifications, doesn't it? So thankfully, not our job to decide. What we can tell you is that Shepherd leads now by 2 seconds over Callum Newsham, who probably did well just to back away from all of that. And you said that be the big beneficiary out of all of that. He's not inherited the lead, but he has found himself back into second position. That all started though at the hairpin, didn't it? Shepherd, by making that lunge, he put the thought in Steve Laidlaw's head that he's going to lunge into every braking zone. Steve, I think, maybe started panicking, clipped the tyres at the chicane, and from there it was only a matter of time before something happened.
Will Beach up to third.
Yes, absolutely made up for Will. And going well, actually. Being caught by Finn Leslie, though, slightly. Let's see what Finn can do as we move into the closing step. Well, not even halfway through this race yet. Finn for another podium could be on.
I'm surprised they haven't put the safety car out for the chicane tyres, because that is shortened the track, and you're gonna get quick lap times.
Yeah, that's true. Good point. At least it's not in the road. Yesterday we had a safety car for a tyre stack, but that was at the Jim Clark S's, and they did not need to. They don't need to move these tyres out of the road, at least. We've lost Brad Hutchison to the pit lane, by the way. Not out of the race, though, is Steve Laidlaw. He's carried on. and he's not pitted. So I'd be amazed if that car is undamaged after its altercation with the barriers, but he is still going down in 12th position. Hutchison out, I know not why, but Steve Laidlaw is still circulating.
Did Steve Laidlaw actually hit the barriers, though?
It was hard to tell. It looked like it, but it was hard to tell, wasn't it? He was sort of hidden behind our timing graphic. Maybe we'll get a replay of it, but maybe he got away with it.
It was, it was lucky anyway, because I was talking to him this morning on the way in, and I've seen some huge accidents there. That is flat in 5th, and then you just turn left and you hope for the best. The car is nervous there anyway, but to go spinning at that speed, it's not good. Oh, Finn Leslie is now on to Will Beach. Will locks a right front. The switchback could be on. Oh, Finn just couldn't get on the power, and he's going to struggle now. And again, we're seeing this pinch point going into the Jim Clark S's, and it's flat through here. Finn's got to be careful. He's got to be close enough. But can he get down the inside just as he gets to Barcroft, which is a scary, scary place? And down the inside, can he get? No. Brilliant stuff from Will Beach, but this is where he'll get the run. Watch how much later he'll be on the brakes into the complex left-hander now as we approach Sonny out. This will be spot on. Oh, this is proper.
Oh, Will Beach is driving in his mirrors, isn't he? Is there a gap to the inside? No, but this is, as Paul says, the part of the circuit that the Hyundai seems to have an edge, so Finn will be keen to get this done. Also because Sam Laidlaw is closing in on them. Sam Laidlaw, who stalled at the start, is almost on terms now with this battle for a podium position. Beach has outbraked himself into the hairpin, runs wide on exit, and Finn Leslie gets alongside. This is the outside line though into turn number 1, and that isn't usually the place to be. He's got the momentum though, he's got his nose in front. Can he get to the inside? We know that Will Beach is pretty feisty under braking. He can't stop Finn Leslie going through. Oh, he's sideways over the curb.
Wow.
And that was full commitment from both drivers. Really good racing between the two of them. They avoided contact, and Finn Leslie's into 3rd.
Do you know what? That was some of the best driving I've seen between two TCR drivers. That could have ended horrendously, and Will Beach didn't roll over there. He defended as much as he needed to, couldn't do any more, and that was it. Game over. Right, that tyre stack got hit hard on the front left by Steve Laidlaw, didn't it? And there's bits of car coming off, bits of carbon. Oh, he hit that hard. So I don't know whether it doesn't really matter about what happened after that, because it ain't going to be anything to do with that front left being towing out. But here we go. Adam Shepherd brakes because he knows he's going to hit him, but by that time the damage is done. So that will be a very interesting discussion with the clerk of the course, because two cars going for the same piece of tarmac, and he was lucky. Look, you'll see it come into shot. Oh, he's lucky there. Does he hit the barrier? Yeah, he does. Oh, he hits it hard. Yeah. Hits it hard.
I'm amazed he's still circulating. I mean, he's in the 125, so he's a couple of seconds off the pace, but that went in backwards very heavily. This is how you do it, isn't it? This was brilliant side-by-side racing into turn 1.
This is great. Watch the lock-up there of the car on the left. You'll see him brake. At the same time, Leslie hangs it out. Then you see... he's a lucky boy. Fair play. You need to get that clipped up, and you need to give it to Will Beach, because that should be in your favourites on your phone. That was brilliant. I love the fact that Will didn't give up, but look, he's going to have another problem now, because he's got Sam Laidlaw hunting him down, and Sam will probably try and get this done at Tower again, but he's a long way back.
Well, I mean, if you'd have told Sam Laidlaw 10 minutes ago he'd have half a chance of a podium in this race, he probably would have laughed at you, but here he is in 5th position, challenging Will Beach for 4th, and he wants to get this done before Finn Leslie gets too far up the road. He's had a better exit from Tower. Oh, there's almost a bit of rubbing again into the Jim Clark S's, because they know that you can't go side by side through there, so it's such a fight to get in front before the turning point, and it's Will Beach who was able to do that. Laidlaw closes in into Sonny, but we know Will's pretty handy through this sequence of corners. If a move is going to come, it will likely come at the end of the lap, as the Cupra driver looks to try and make the move. Again, defensive driving from the Gen 2 Cupra of Will Beach, and the newest car, one of the newest cars on the grid, in the hands of Sam Laidlaw, looks the quicker of the two. He just can't buy himself a ticket to the inside line.
No, but he can't lunge from that far back, but what he can do is just wait. Will's gone wide. Will's gone very wide, and that should be it's done. Yeah, that's a shame. Now, I've noticed that with Will at that corner, even if he's too tight on entry, he still goes in at the same speed, and he just runs out wide. So yeah, that's a shame, that. But Will, what I really like about Will is he's just not rolled over. He's had a proper go.
From the very first corner of the race, he wasn't rolling over, was he? So yeah, this has been one of the best races I've seen Will Beach drive. I know that seems odd to say because he's been losing places, but his racecraft looks better. He just looks more confident, doesn't he? And that was always going to come as we moved into the second half of the year, I felt. And the more opportunities he has to race with the likes of the Newshams and Shepherds and Laidlaws of the world, the better he will become. So the Capture Motorsport driver settles in behind the area Cooper. The question now then is, what sort of pace has Sam Laidlaw got? Well, the answer to that, in short, Paul, is he's got lap record pace. 122.5 is 2/10 underneath the existing lap record from a couple of years ago. It did belong initially, I believe, to Jack Constable, and now it's Sam Laidlaw who has taken it away from him. He did that a couple of laps ago. Now unleashed in clean air, can he catch Finn Leslie? 4 seconds, that's quite a big gap to try and bridge, but I'm sure Sam is going to give it a good go. Adam Shepherd, though, leads across the line, uncontested now, and, well, regardless of what happened, he'll be very, very happy if he sees the checkered flag first.
Do you know what's worrying about this for everyone else? Watch this car now. It isn't even using all of the track, and it's still up the road. I just noticed then on the exit of the hairpin, I noticed it yesterday as well when I watched the live stream, he looks like he is stroking it home. And he complained about understeer yesterday at the end of the race, which is the front axle, the driven wheels just being worked too hard and the car just missing apexes and driving to the exit. But whatever they've done, they must have loosened the rear off. The car looks just perfect. And another car that looks perfect is Callum Newsham's car, but it just isn't fast enough. It is an older car, but my word, do him and that team get the best out of that Hyundai. It is amazing to see.
Yeah, and I was about to raise the question as to why Newsham hasn't been able to take the fight to Shepherd in this race when he did yesterday, and I wondered whether that's because, you know, Shepherd's got quicker, maybe Newsham was fighting a problem, but they're both about 2 to 3 tenths underneath the lap times they did yesterday, so compared to each other, they're very similar. It's just that Shepherd has not lost pace in the closing stages of the race as he did yesterday. We are only a couple of laps from home now. Callum's still pushing on, I suppose, but yeah, this has turned into a bit more of a lonely race, hasn't it, for the Hyundai driver. The car, though, at least for now, touch wood, is running, which will be a relief to both drivers, actually, because they both had some mechanical concerns, shall we say, before the race actually got underway.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the timing screen because our man here, Finn Leslie, I was wondering why Newsham was still flat out, because he ain't going to catch Shepherd, but what he doesn't want to do is get caught by this man in your screen, because Finn Leslie's car is looking every bit as good as the man in front, Callum Newsham. So I did notice Callum was just locking rears into the complex, so it's game on this. He's only, what, 1.4 behind? He's not that far away.
But the gap sorry, Paul, but the gap that's really coming down is Laidlaw to Leslie. Laidlaw was about 7 tenths quicker than Finn on the previous laps, and that is doable, I think, isn't it? It came down, in fact, about 9 tenths quicker. It's down to 3 seconds now. There is Sam Laidlaw. Yeah. He's the fastest man on the track, quicker even than Shepherd.
Yeah, that's true. And actually, I'm going to apologise because I've read the timing screen wrong, which is always like me. I was thinking, oh, he's not even 4 tenths. He's not, he is 6 seconds, isn't he, behind him?
Yeah, that's it. Did come down fractionally on the previous lap, but I don't think Callum's going to be too concerned about Finn Leslie, especially if a battle erupts for third position, which it may well do. Sam Laidlaw flying the flag now for the Laidlaw family. Although Steve is still circulating. Steve is 11th now. He's 5 seconds behind Greg Saunders, but his previous lap was some 7 seconds off the pace, so he is nursing damage, I think, from that altercation with the barrier earlier on. Again, really tight exit there out of the final corner. I think that might just be a Gen 3 Cooper thing, because it's off the final corner that's such a strength, so the sooner they get that wheel straightened and get the right foot planted, the better.
Yeah, they've just got an easier time of it getting off them slower corners, so all they do is shorten the radius, and then as soon as they're straight, they're gone. So yeah, it just there's no scrub of that front axle in the tight corners, which is unbelievable. That does it. That makes it a lot easier through that chicane with that tyre stack down. I cannot tell you how hard that corner is. That chicane, it's flat in qualifying in a front wheel drive tin top, but oh my word, is it not easy.
It's only just flat, a bit like the Jim Clark S's, really. You can go through them flat, but the car is on edge. It's what makes this a real driver's circuit, because it is very challenging. Then you add the bumps and the narrow circuit and the lack of runoff area. It's one of the most challenging circuits in the country, I would say. Will Beach has met that challenge, though, well today, running nicely here in 5th position. and he'll be very satisfied, I think, with his performance so far. The question is, what's going to happen with the two cars directly ahead of him? Sam Laidlaw chasing down Finn Leslie. On the previous laps, Sam was only actually 4/10, let's say, quicker than Finn. This time around so far in the first sector, he was a 10th better, the second sector 3/10 better, so it's coming down by about the same rate, and Adam Shepherd begins his final lap.
Well, it's been pretty eventful for him. So it'd be interesting to grab a word with him after this race, because I think there's going to be a difference on opinions of what's happened in that high speed Jim Clark S's as Adam gets down the inside of Alex Jones, isn't it?
Was indeed. So Alex gets well out of his way, sensible stuff, lets the leader go. And yeah, that's going to be a big talking point, the big talking point of the season so far, I think, that clash, and we will provide you further updates throughout the day on any judicials that may or may not come from that. But for now, Adam's going to be celebrating the win, and well, 2 wins so far. He's on pole for race 3 later. Nobody has ever won 3 races in a weekend in TCR UK history, and Adam Shepherd is positioning himself nicely to maybe be able to do that here at Croft. He turns through the penultimate corner, heads for the hairpin for the final time. It's going to be win number 10 for Adam Shepherd, so he moves back into second now on the all-time wins list, 1 ahead of Callum Newsham, who will follow him home several seconds back though. It's a victory for Adam Shepherd. He weaves and flashes the lights in celebration as he claims the checkered flag for a second time this weekend here at Croft. Callum Newsham comes home a distant second, the eventual winning margin 5.8 seconds, and Finn Leslie will hang on for another podium finish. That's really impressive stuff, that from Finn Leslie, who adds to the podiums that he picked up earlier in the season, and that was a really, really classy drive once again from the youngster. Sam Laidlaw comes home in 4th, and Will Beach is in the top 5, and he'll be very, very happy with that indeed. So the cars will make their way around to the pit lane area. Paul O'Neill is dashing out to have a chat with them, and some interesting conversations to be had, I think, after that race, with Adam Shepherd claiming what may turn out to be a contentious race victory. It is, as I said, his 10th win in his TCR UK career. It is podium number 26, and if he's on the podium in race 3 later on, he will match the all-time podium record in TCR UK, currently held by Civic Cup racer Lewis Kent, but double former TCR UK champion Lewis Kent, who scored 27 podiums in his several years TCR UK. Here is Steve Laidlaw, meanwhile. Now, that car is not quite in showroom condition anymore, but it is still running. It's 11th position for Steve, and he's followed home by Greg Saunders, who's been delayed significantly in that one. So, of course, Greg went off at the...